Hello, this is Sadako. Today's video is a double feature. Let's begin.
Purple Mama. I have a younger brother who is 3 years younger than me. My brother has a friendly personality and was always very close to me when I was little. I thought he was cute, but at the same time I felt a little depressed about him. When I became an elementary school student and started playing with my friends, he wanted to stay with me. One day I left the house saying, "I'm off," and my brother followed me as usual, saying, "I'm going too." I told him in a stern tone, "You should go home and wait for your mother." But he said, no, and wouldn't listen. He continued, "I don't want to be with mommy." I was surprised and asked him why. He said, "Mom, she only turns purple when she is with me. That scares me." I didn't understand what he meant, so I asked him what he meant by purple, and he said, "She get a purple face, like she painted it with a crayon." I found this very hard to believe, and I was troubled as to how my brother could have come to think such an unpleasant thing. I said to him, "Of course not. My mother would be very sad to hear that." He said, "It's true." He said, "When I have a purple face, mommy is always mad at me. She chases me all the time." I was a little scared when I heard that. I thought that maybe it was not my mother, but an ogre. But my brother is still very young, and I decided that he must have misunderstood something. I said, "I don't think she's mad at you, I think she just wants to play with you. I can't tell if she's mad because I can't see her purple face." My brother said, "I don't know if she's mad because I can't see her face with purple." I thought that my mother was wearing a mask to entertain him, so I pushed him back inside the house and went to play. After that, I was still concerned about my brother, so I left playtime early and arrived home before curfew. I decided to sneak a peek through the window. There I saw my mother wearing a mask and my brother looking frightened. My mother was wearing a white mask on her face that looked like it had been smeared with purple oil-based marker, and she was silently chasing my brother around. My brother was running away from my mother, screaming and gagging. I froze on the spot at the bazaar site and did not dare to enter the house when it was time for curfew. I stood there in front of the front door for a long time, unable to find the answer why my mom acts like that. Eventually, the front door opened. There stood my mother, looking relieved and saying to me, "Welcome home, you should have come in." Mom would have been worried. Unable to look directly at my mother, who was talking as if nothing had happened, I looked at my brother's face behind her. He looked frightened and tired, and stared at me reproachfully. From that day on, I made it a point to always be with my brother. Not so much for my brother's sake, but because I didn't want to put my mother in that creepy state even once. In hindsight, I think my mother was abusing my brother and using him as an outlet for her stress. I know this is an exaggeration, but I don't know how far the abuse would have escalated if I had remained unaware of it and continued to separate from my brother. I can't deny that it could have been a selfish mistake or delusion on my part, but that creepy behavior of my mother's was so terrifying that I still have flashbacks to it from time to time.
At the illustration submission site. I used to use a certain illustration posting site. I uploaded my drawings for people to look at, but since I was what is called a bottom-of-the-barrel artist, I did not receive many bookmarks or likes. One day, the total number of bookmarks suddenly increased. It was only 50 to 100, but it was a surprise to me. I checked the total number of bookmarks, both happy and skeptical, and found that there was apparently an account that had bookmarked all my submissions from the past to the most recent. In other words, the owner of this account had single-handedly increased my bookmark total by 50. Curious, I looked at the account's page and was amazed. His bookmark list has only my picture. Furthermore, I am the only one he follows. I was beyond happy to see this, and thought to myself, some people are so strange. He had not posted anything, but I wondered what kind of person he was. So I looked at his profile section. In the self-introduction section, I saw the sentence, "I knew you'd come to see this. To die." I have not logged into that posting site since then.
We meet again, Sadako. How did you like the videos this time? When I read the first story, I remembered that my mother had done something similar. Suddenly, she would say things like, "I am not your mother." And she would stop doing any housework. She would ignore me when I called her crying, and she would say things like, "Your mother is gone." When I think about it now, it is a kind of neglect. I believe there are many mothers in Japan who are stressed and sick in this way. Please subscribe to our channel if you are interested in our videos. See you soon.